guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something that I've seen a lot of people doing on booktube and I was really excited to do as well, and that is the top 21 books I want to read in 2021. So obviously there are a lot of books on my shelves that I would love to get to this year. Some that I have put on the back burner, some that are new releases that I'm super excited about, and just some that I just really am excited to read. So I tried to compile a list of 21 books that I really want to get to this year. It's very ambitious, as always, but I'm feeling really good about it because I'm just super excited about all of these books, and I hope you guys are excited to watch this and see what my top 21 books are. Now, forewarning, I am probably not going to go into all of the descriptions for each of these books because you guys will be here forever and I don't even want to hear myself talk that long, but I will leave all of the books down below so you guys can look them up and read a bit more about them if you guys aren't aware what they're about. But I'll try to give you a little bit of keywords and kind of the genre and what the vibe of the book is. I have a hard time sometimes because if I see someone I love on booktube or anywhere else talking about a book that they love or raving about it, I buy it, and I don't really care what the exact premise is because one, I don't want to ruin it for myself and go in with certain expectations, and two, I just trust these people and I trust their opinions, so I go for it. So let's go ahead and get straight into this and talk about the books. So this year I think is going to be a year full of high fantasy because I haven't read high fantasy in a while. I don't think I read much of it last year, and this year I'm really vibing with it, so I want to pick up some high fantasy. So the first one I have is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I've seen so many people talking about this and I just can't wait to get to it. It sounds amazing. We have a festival with two sisters in the prosperous desert city of Ziran, and a vengeful spirit abducts her younger sister, and I think it's a quest for her to find her and deal with these scary spirits. I don't need to know much more for me to be intrigued, so this one is definitely high up on my list. I wanted to get to it last year, didn't get to it. We're gonna try this year to get to it finally. Next is one that I own the entire series of but have not read yet. I think I just got them really cheap at a thrift store and I was like, I think I'm gonna love this, so I should read it, and I haven't yet. But I'm gonna try now since I have discovered a love for V.E. Schwab's writing lately, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I have read some of V.E. Schwab. I've read her YA series, the Savage Song series or duet that I didn't really like at all, but I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and adored that. So I feel like since this is adult like Addie LaRue, I'm going to like this more than I did the Savage Song duet. I've heard some people really like this, some people find it underwhelming, so I'm trying to go in without high expectations just because I have had mixed feelings about V.E. Schwab's writing before. So hopefully I can get started on this series and then see how I feel about continuing, and if I don't want to continue, maybe I can unhaul the rest of the series. But I do want to start this because I, like I said, have the whole series on my shelf, and every time I see it, it looks at me and tells me, why haven't you read me yet? The next book I have is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I have always wanted to read this. It sounds really up my alley and people are always talking about it. I don't have many details on this, but on the back it says, comes a sweeping and gorgeously written modern fantasy about forbidden love, an ancient and epic battle, and a hope for a world remade. All of the things that I want in a fantasy book, so this one is definitely something I can't wait to get to. It's been out for a while and I've never read a Laini Taylor, but I think this will be a good place to start. I kind of want to read, not in publishing order, but maybe try and start with this before I move on to other ones I have by her, which are a bit more intimidating for sure. Next we have one I think I got in high school and still haven't gotten to, and that is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This used to be one of the biggest YA books, I feel like, on booktube. Everyone was talking about this and I always wanted to read it and never picked it up. But this is about a girl, I think it's a princess, and she is being tracked down by both a prince and an assassin, and the way it's written, you don't know who is who and you kind of have to guess, or it's like a mystery through that, and it's also fantastical. And I don't know, I I've heard, you know, over the years, mixed things, but I still want to get to it and see if I'm smart enough to figure out who's who. I think that'll be fun. So we'll see how this one goes. I think I might also own another one on the series that I just found at a thrift store and decided I'll pick that up. We have a really large one that is very intimidating, but I just can't wait to get to, and that is Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. I don't remember if it's House of Earth and Blood, the Crescent City. Is it called Crescent City? I don't know. I've heard people call it different things. You guys probably know what this is about. I don't have to tell you, but I just want to get to it. I'm Sarah J. Maas trash, and I just want to know what the hype is about. It's so gorgeous inside, and I just know there's a girl named Bryce, and it's something assassin-y. Reminds me of Throne of Glass. It's on there. Next we have one I've also had on my shelf for a while, and I remember I wanted to pick it up so badly because Whitney from Witty Novels, she talked about how much she loved this book and this series, and so I really want to get to it, and that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. This, all I know is it's like a Vlad the Impaler retelling with a female protagonist, and it sounds like it's got a lot of political intrigue. I don't know. It sounds good, and that's all I needed to know before I picked this up. So hopefully this year I will get to this. I have a lot of big fantasy on here, as you guys can tell, but I'm feeling hopeful, and we'll have to see at the end of the year if I get to all of these big ones. I'm gonna have to really plan when I'm gonna read these books because I'm gonna forget, and it's gonna come January 2022, and I'm gonna be very disappointed if I don't try and make a plan with these books. Next I have a fantasy anthology that I think I got with Owl Crate. Yeah, I think it was Owl Crate for their Winter Wishes box. And this is A Universe of Wishes, and it's a bunch of different authors that I recognize, like Libba Bray, Danielle Clayton, Anna-Marie McLemore, who I've just discovered a recent love for, V. Schwab, and lots of other great authors. And I just want to read this because, one, I don't read enough anthologies and I really do enjoy them, and two, I think it's just like fantasy villains and fun things like that, and I think I'm just gonna really enjoy it. So I really want to get to this because I want to pick up more anthologies and kind of get to know some other authors that I might not have known already, and see whose style I like and who I want to pick up more books from. Next we have one that I'm actually really excited about. This is another one that's like BookTube 2014, when I used to watch BookTube nonstop, and I bought it because everyone talked about how great it was, and you don't really hear much about it lately, but I do know that Alexandra has a new book that just came out, so I want to read this one before I get to Lore, and that is Passenger by, like I said, Alexandra Bracken. This is a time travel fantasy something with a bunch of friends, and they journey across centuries and continents. I'm sold. Why haven't I picked this up yet? It's still up my alley almost 10 years later. So I'm excited about this. I also own the second one. Why do I do that to myself? I don't know. What is with me buying books from authors I've never read from and just buying every book they've ever written? I don't know, but I have Final Girls by Riley Sager. I pretty much own all of his books. I've never read them. So we're starting off in kind of pub order, and we're gonna start with Final Girls because I want to kind of see how he progresses as a writer. I've heard people say he starts off not as great and then it gets better and better, and I need a good horror thriller book like this in my life, and I just want to be able to start working through his works. So we're gonna read Final Girls at some point or another. This used to be on so many TBRs for me, and then, you know, I would drop off the face of the earth and never come back and tell you guys how it went. So never read this. I've read like I think 20 pages or something. Hopefully I can get to it. And now we have another big fantasy book, and that is Night House by Leigh Bardugo. I think this is something dark academia, kind of fantasy, culty, I don't know. Dark academia, you have me sold. I'm super excited about it, and I just love Leigh Bardugo. I have heard that there are a lot of trigger warnings that come with this book, so I will definitely leave down below like a link to this book so you guys can make sure you know about it before you go in. But I've heard mixed things from it, but it does sound like something I'm really going to enjoy, and the trigger warnings aren't something that affect me deeply to where I don't think I can read this book. So I can't wait to get to it. I'm really excited about it. It is such a gorgeous cover. I can't wait to be able to like say I've read it and display it as like, I read it finally. I finally got to Ninth House. Next I have a memoir because I just want to start reading some more nonfiction. I do occasionally, and most of the time I read them on audio, but I do want to start reading, you know, some of the nonfiction that I have, and that is Homework by Julie Andrews. This is a memoir of her Hollywood days, and it's, I think, written with her granddaughter, I'm pretty sure. I just adore Julie Andrews. I think she's just a beautiful woman, and the day that she is not here anymore, I will really have a hard time, because I grew up just like feeling so enamored with her. The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, Princess Diaries, like hello. I want to read it so badly, and I think it will be really interesting to get into and get to know a little bit more about her. We've got a classic. I've been missing school. I love reading books for school, and since I'm not in school anymore, I've been missing that like academic reading experience. So I'm gonna be reading Emma by Jane Austen. I have read Pride and Prejudice. It was okay for me, but I saw the new Emma movie and I really liked it, and so I really want to read this and kind of see, you know, the base material for the movie, and I want to be able to work through Jane Austen's works as well. Charlotte Bronte is my favorite author, and I've read so many Bronte sisters books, but I want to read some more Austen because I don't know, Pride and Prejudice was just okay for me, so hopefully this one is a little bit better. And I'm excited because I've been missing reading classics and analyzing them, and I don't know, just deep diving into them. Next we have a contemporary dark fantasy kind of book, and that is The Wicker King by Kay Ancrum. This one is about, I think, two boys who, one of them is like living in a different world, and they start seeing hallucinations and visions of each other, and it kind of shows the progression of, I don't know if it's madness or just kind of like what's real and what's not. And you can see that by the way the pages are, like they start getting darker and darker, and that just sounds really cool to me. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this book. I've had it for a bit, and I just really want to get to it because it doesn't seem like it's too long of a read, and it's definitely some weird fiction that I feel like I need in my life. So we're gonna try this one this year. Hopefully it works out. Next I have a book I've had on my shelves for way too long, and I know I could run through it, and I don't know why I haven't yet, and that is The Geek's Guide to Unrequited Love by Sarvanes Tash. This, I think, is a boy who goes to like a Comic-Con convention and meets a girl. I think it's like a meet cute kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know. But it sounds cute, and I'm not really sure if it's like fully my vibe, but I'm willing to try it, and I think this cover is pretty cute. So I want to get to this one this year because, one, I've had it on my shelves for far too long to keep it. If I don't read it this year, I'd have to get rid of it. It's just too long. But it sounds like something fun, and I'm excited for a little bit of like, hopefully some fluffy, nerdy romance. If you guys watched my last vlog, you would know I have become an Anna-Marie McLemore stan. I really love her writing, and so I thought I would pick up this year another one of her books that I already own, and that is The Weight of Feathers by, obviously, Anna-Marie McLemore. All I know about this is that there's some magical realism in there, and I think she does it so well, so I'm super excited to pick this one up and to start reading through Anna-Marie McLemore's books because there was something about it. I adored it. It felt so raw and natural and real and just fantastical and amazing, and I'm a big fan now. So we're gonna try and read this year. I cannot wait, and I always want to try to try new genres, and now that I've figured out that I really like her magical realism, I know that this one has to happen this year. Next, I have one that I am very excited about, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I have been really wanting some Greek mythology in my life, and this is a retelling of Patroclus and Achilles becoming friends, and it's like a really sad, emotional love story, I think, between them. So I really want to pick this up. I've heard really great things, and I want to know what all the hype is about and if it will make me cry, because if you guys knew me, I cry at almost everything. So that'll be a good test to see if I'm really vibing with the book, if I'm bawling my eyes out. Sorry if you guys can hear the leaf blower outside, but I gotta keep trucking along. So the next book I'm going to be reading this year is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Dare. This book sounds so good and so emotional. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I think it's about a 14-year-old girl named Adunni, and she is sold to a man to be his third wife. I think it's about her having to overcome, obviously, a situation where she doesn't have much of a voice, and learning English, and kind of finding her voice in a situation where she has little to none. And it sounds amazing, and I love this cover so much, so I cannot wait to pick this up. I think Noelle absolutely adored this, and I trust her, so I'm super excited about this one, and I think it's gonna have to happen pretty soon, because every time I see it, I'm just itching to get my hands on it and read it. There's a little kid riding a little scooter down the street. That's so cute. Next, I have one that I recently picked up, and that is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is, one, the most stunning cover I've ever seen, and two, one I've heard so many wonderful things about. This is about a girl who is an up-and-coming singer. I think it's about an abusive relationship between she and her producer, agent, someone in the music business, and the first line on the inside flap is Corey Fields is dead. So I think something happens with that. So I think it's kind of thrillery, also kind of coming of age, and a discussion of, you know, abuse and a really toxic relationship. So I'm really excited to pick this one up. I definitely think it's going to be powerful and insightful, and I'm really glad to have this in my hands, because it is just so stunning, and I cannot wait to start reading Tiffany D. Jackson's books, because I see them everywhere and I still haven't gotten around to it. So this is going to be my first. Next, I have Valley Girls by Sarah Nicole Lemon. This book is supposed to be about, I think, a girl who is a rock climber, or she gets sent to a situation where she is rock climbing, and it's this new experience for her. And I don't know much more than that, other than it's a contemporary kind of coming of age, you know, self-discovery. And Kayla from Books and Lala loves this book, and so I really want to read this because I trust her opinion, and I'm excited about it. I don't know anything about rock climbing. I used to do it a little bit in high school when I had like this class where I had to do it, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm curious to learn some more. Even if I don't, you know, retain all the information about rock climbing, hopefully this will be an exciting and kind of like interesting read about something I don't know much about. Next is one I feel like I don't have to talk much about, because I keep talking about how excited I am to read it, and that is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. I adore Kaysen Callender's writing, and so I'm really excited to get to this one. This is about a trans boy named Felix. He's receiving threats saying that this person is going to release their dead name, as well as there's also a love triangle, I think. Something of the sort. It just sounds amazing. I love this cover. I can't wait to read this. I really love Kaysen Callender's writing, and so I know this is going to be a wonderful book, and one that is going to be definitely very insightful and powerful, and I can't wait to pick it up. And last but not least, we're kicking it off with one of the most intimidating books I have on my shelves, probably the most intimidating book on my shelf, that I bought because I just want to suffer, I guess. And that is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I truly couldn't tell you a synopsis of this book. There are a lot of people who have read this and said it wrecked them, and that it is just a lot of hard things to read about. It is like devastating. And I I've heard Noelle talk about this as well. She read it and she was saying like, I don't think it should have this stigma that it needs to be read by everyone, which I understand because I'm sure it's very difficult, but I'm intrigued and I do want to pick this up and see how it goes. Hopefully I'm not going to be scarred for life, but this is definitely the most intimidating book on my shelf, and I'm just, I don't know, something about it. I really want to read it. So definitely look this up too before you read this. I've heard a lot of things and that there are trigger warnings for a lot of things, and that, like I said, it's a devastating read. But maybe I can space this out throughout the year and not completely hurt myself, or maybe I'll read it in like a reading vlog and you guys can see my experience. I don't know. But this is on there. I do want to read this year. Every time I see it, I'm intimidated and nervous, but I also want to pick it up because I just want to know, you know? So this is the last one on the list. That is going to be it for the top 21 books I want to read in 2021. A lot of these are huge and very big, so I'm going to have to make sure I put in the effort to try and read them so that come 2022, I'm not mad at myself for not picking up all of these books. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like and comment down below. Let me know what your top book is to read in 2021, or if you don't have anything else to say, comment this little cat emoji, just so I know you guys were here. And if you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe for new videos. I have figured out a schedule and it's been working out really well. So subscribe for new videos and also click the bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a video. And I will talk to you guys in my next one. Happy reading. Bye.